Welcome back to tonight's broadcast, A Place for Stories. I'm Sergio Dominguez, and tonight we continue reading my original novel, What Would I Do Without You? If you haven't listened to Chapter 8, Part 1, I recommend starting there before continuing, as this chapter picks up immediately where we left off. Junior year has begun, and after weeks of distance and unanswered questions, Aaron finally asked Isaac to stay after school so they could talk. Whatever Aaron has been carrying inside, he seems ready to finally share. But some conversations have the power to change everything. Let's continue their story. This is What Would I Do Without You? Chapter 8, Part 2. Aaron looked out the window as I drove, and then he started talking very softly. I feel like I owe you an apology. I have never had a friend like you, and I know I have been really shitty to you and the others, but mainly you. You are the one I talk to and trust the most. What you told me the other day got me thinking, and you are right. I do consider you my best friend and should be more honest with you. What you said about my dad, I know you said it because you care, but you have to understand, Isaac. He is still my father, and I love him. I opened my mouth, but he stopped me. Please, don't say anything. Don't fuck this up. I put my hand on my neck like I was clutching my imaginary pearls with a surprised look on my face. I know it's hard for you to keep your mouth shut, and this is hard for me. So just let me talk and get it out of my system, Aaron said. Okay, fine. And it's not hard for me to keep my mouth shut. It's just that, see what I mean? You just can't shut it. It's like you always have something to say. Can you be quiet? Not knowing what to do or say anymore, I decided that maybe I should remain silent. See? That's good. Keep practicing. It'll get easier. He practically spat out. I inhaled deeply as I kept my eyes on the road because I was having a hard time accepting this version of Aaron. He took a deep breath to calm himself and start again. Anyway, as I was saying, he is stressed. He is trying and is getting better. Dad spoke to his counselor and told him what happened. The counselor said that he understands that he is a work in progress, but that if he did it again, he would have to call the authorities. Even though whatever my dad talks to him about is confidential, something like that has to be reported. I wanted to tell you that I'm fine, my brother and mother too. We arrived at his house and he invited me in. Would you like to get down for a while? Mom was asking for you the other day. I think it would be nice if you came in and said hello. I was hesitant and still in shock at how the usually calm and quiet Aaron had put me in my place. Are you sure? I asked him quietly. Yeah, it's fine. And don't worry, Dad is off on another business trip. He will be home later in the week, Aaron reported as he stepped out of the car. Aaron's younger brother ran up to me and gave me a hug. He was so little that all he could hug were my legs. I looked down at him and said, Hi, little man, as he looked up at me with a toothy grin. He missed you, said Aaron with a smile on his face. Aaron, is that you? A voice came from the kitchen. Yeah, Mom, it's me. And Isaac, said Aaron as his mother came out of the kitchen, drying her hands on a cup towel. Isaac, it's so nice to see you. I'm so happy you stopped by, she said as she reached toward me and held my hand with both of hers. Hi, Miss Smith. Yes, well, I wanted to come in and say hello, I replied shyly. That's nice. Oh, and thank you for giving Aaron a ride home. I had an appointment to get to, but it was canceled last minute. I hope it wasn't too much of an inconvenience for you, she replied. Not at all. It was my pleasure. You can always count on me for anything. And I do mean anything. I can give Aaron a ride tomorrow if you like. Actually, the whole week or semester. You just let me know. I could see Miss Smith's eyes growing as I kept talking, and then a voice within me told me to shut the fuck up. Aaron interrupted me. Yeah, so we're going to hang out in my room, Mom, indicating to me with a look to stop blabbering as he passed by me. Okay, son. Will you be staying for dinner, Isaac? She quickly asked as we walked into the hallway that led to Aaron's room. I didn't tell my parents that I was coming here, but I can call and ask. I'm sure they won't mind. You let me know. she said with a smile as she turned to walk away. Yeah, we will, Mom, Aaron hollered back at her. Walking into his room, I was in disbelief of my actions. Yeah, I guess you are right. I don't know when to shut up, I said as I brought my fingers up to my temples in realization and embarrassment. All he said was, mm-hmm, as he turned and looked at me. Shut up, I told him as he grinned. There was a tiny moment of tense silence before he said, Do you want to watch some TV? He motioned for me to follow him. Oh, and since you like to talk so much, don't forget to call your parents and tell them you're having dinner with us. He laughed as he quipped. I shook my head in humiliation as I followed him. I called my parents and asked for permission, to which they said yes, just like I knew they would. After I hung up, we watched TV in his room, and it felt like we were back to how we used to be. Dinner was also great. Miss Smith made some chicken with veggies and a side of mashed potatoes topped with cheese. She offered me seconds, and I really wanted to accept, but I was so embarrassed to eat more. I didn't want Aaron to think I was a pig. Besides, it was getting late and I needed to head home. I thanked Miss Smith for a wonderful dinner and said my goodbyes. Aaron's little brother ran up to me and hugged me again. As I bent to his level, I smiled and said, I will see you later, buddy, okay? Okay, bye, he said as he waved his little hand in front of my face. He ran back to the table to his mother's side. We walked to my car in silence. And as we stood in front of it, I asked, So I'll see you tomorrow? Of course, but not if you're running late, he answered with a smirk while looking directly into my eyes. Huh. Maybe I will surprise you and be extra early like someone I know. I tried to say it snarkily, but my heart was filled with tender warmth. I smiled at him and felt so much affection that I had to fight the urge to wrap my arms around him. So many things were battling in my mind. However, it seemed to me that his smile matched mine when he stepped closer, leaned forward, and said, I wouldn't hold my breath. And then with a whisper, he said, I. He lifted his arm, waved his hand, and turned around to walk back inside. I shook my head with a mixture of relief and regret, got into my car, and drove off. Why did I chicken out? I asked myself. I wanted to bang my head against the steering wheel or something. Everything seemed to have lined up for the perfect opportunity. I could have hugged him. I deeply yearned to hold him in my arms and feel his body against mine. There was a feeling of excitement mixed with nervousness, and at the same time sadness because I had to leave. Something within me felt incomplete with how the night ended. At least we are talking again, I thought to myself. The first semester of junior year turned out pretty good. I was happy that Aaron and I took biology together because he helped me out a great deal, especially with lab. That kid was so smart. Looking back, it amazed me how he could pick up information so quickly while I had to read things over and over before I understood it. PE was also a blast. We hardly did anything, and Coach Cardenas was so easygoing. Most of the time, she would simply walk into the gym and say, "Free class," and then she would walk back out. Most of us would work on our homework, and others would visit with friends to pass the time. Midterms, Christmas, and New Year's came and went. I didn't get to spend Christmas or New Year's with Aaron, but I did see him often over the break. That semester felt fulfilling to me. Everything was how I thought it should be with Aaron. One thing I noticed was that I didn't see much of Chris. As the holidays came and went, it seemed that life was finally beginning to settle down. Aaron smiled more. The distance between him and Isaac finally disappeared. For the first time in a long while, it felt like they could simply enjoy being teenagers again. But sometimes, the moments that seem the most peaceful come just before everything changes. And there was one thing Isaac couldn't stop thinking about. He hadn't seen much of Chris. At the time, it didn't seem important. Later, he would realize it meant more than he could have ever imagined. We'll continue Isaac and Aaron's story in Chapter 9. Thank you for listening to What Would I Do Without You? If you've been enjoying the journey so far, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with someone who loves heartfelt coming of age stories. I'm Sergio Dominguez, and this has been tonight's broadcast, A Place for Stories. Until next time, thank you for listening.